Gym, and sometimes I wish I could be out here more with the guys.
Yeah. I'd much rather be doing the work than the paperwork.
It's not, yeah, I hear you. You hear that big piece of rock he hit? Did you hear that big piece of rock he hit? That probably broke a tooth off. A lot of times you'll break knives or break teeth off your wheel when you hit that kind of stuff. Now if you'll notice, these pine stumps are hard to cut because they shred. You see where it's not cutting clean? All those shreds, they start bogging your wheel down. And so pine stumps can be hard. A lot of times people think, well, a hardwood's harder than a pine. A pine ought to be easier to grind than a hardwood, but it's not. A pine's one of the worst stumps you can grind on because they just shred. They don't want to come out clean. But this stump grinder right here is probably like a 70 horse diesel unit. It's a pretty good machine. He's getting in there on it pretty good, but it's, you know, it takes a while. And if you can picture from the speed of that, imagine a 15-foot diameter stump. How much debris you got to grind. This is just a small stump, and he's just taking all this time just to work through the wood. But this guy here, I can tell you, is really good on his machine. We've seen a lot of stump grinder guys, and this guy knows what he's doing. Okay, let's go. Well, I'll just narrate. What we got going on here is we got a big Prentice grapple loader, and what they're doing is trucks are coming by and they're picking up this debris that we place out the street. FEMA's paying by the cubic yard to have this stuff hauled off to the landfill, and that's a service that FEMA pays for once we get the debris out. So a lot of times people say, you know, what are y'all putting this out to the curb for? And we say, well, FEMA, anytime FEMA declares a disaster, they pay for the debris cleanup. So that's one less thing the customer's got to worry about. But this truck here is just sitting here waiting for a truck to come by, and he's going to start loading this debris, and they'll move this thing down the street as they get trucks in here to load. And then those trucks are going to go back and forth to the dump. This Bobcat that you see sitting here is just helping to gather the debris so that machine can pick it up and load it into the trucks. Pick something up for us.
Hopefully I'll have one here probably, hopefully in 10 minutes.
Basically what you see him doing now is he's picking up some debris and getting it ready to be loaded into the truck when the truck pulls up. That bucket that he's got on there is a specially designed clam bucket. It allows him to pick up this kind of debris easier. This unit here is capable of loading maybe as much as 2,500 cubic yards of material in a day. These trucks are very efficient at what they do. How long does it take him to fill a truck?
Probably about 20 minutes.
With this machine and the Bobcat, they can load a 50-yarder?
We're running 75 and a 78-yard.
They can load a 75 cubic yard truck in about 20 minutes from the time the truck pulls up. So, how many loads a day does a truck make?
We made 19 yesterday, and we'll end up with probably 16 today.
They can make between 16 and 19 16 and 19 loads of debris per day with two trucks, this loader, and that Bobcat.
Here comes the truck.
We got a truck pulling in now. We're going to show you some of the action. But basically, this is very thick debris, so it allows them to load very rapidly because we have a lot of debris, so they don't have to do a lot of movement. This will be a contractor's dream that's hauling debris to be on this street.
He said 16 and 19 loads. I think 16, 19 loads yesterday. Basically right here. They were here yesterday. I seen them. This is as far as they got.
They made about 16 to 19 loads from the beginning of the street. You see this truck pull up?
Hold on, tell me that again.
We got a truck pulling in here. Yesterday they made about 19 loads with this size truck that you see pulling in now. This is a very big truck. So they made about 16 loads yesterday and about 19 the day before, for a total of 35 loads to work from basically from the corner of the street to here. So that'll give you an idea how much debris came out of each of these yards. There's about 3-4 houses here that all that debris came out of to the street. So basically that guy's sitting up in his air-conditioned cab. To give you an idea of what kind of money these guys make, they can get paid anywhere from $6 to $8 a cubic yard to load and haul. "76 yards in 20 minutes is pretty rapid loading. A lot of these trucks have the loader mounted onto the truck. They're called self-loaders. In this particular situation, they've got a separate loader and the truck pulls up, but a lot of the trucks have their loader mounted on their truck, so they pull up, load themselves, and then go. That's probably a better way to work, is to have your loader mounted on your truck, but this is an okay solution. If you don't have that type of equipment already, this is fine, you can do it. When these guys are working, they got to be careful about power lines and overhead utilities a lot of times when they're trying to load. Sometimes you get into an area with a lot of power lines around and it can be hard to load the trucks. Usually on a job like this, they require you to have a flag man, one at the front, one at the back, especially if you're on a busy street. In this situation, this is just a neighborhood street, so they're not probably requiring a flagman right here. He's basically trying to pull this debris out of here.
We got a lot of that.
Okay, we ready to move on then?
Yeah, let him grab that debris and then we'll get it out of here.
A lot of times they'll go a little bit over the right-of-way. The right-of-way is actually usually about 12 foot from the edge, but they'll go on and get some over past the right-of-way because every yard they get paid